It was 1953, and 12-year-old Cassius Clay stood nervously outside the pristine white columns of DuPont Manual High School in Louisville, Kentucky. His mother, Odessa, had dressed him in his Sunday best, a pressed white shirt, dark trousers, and shoes polished until they gleamed. She held his hand tightly as they approached the main office, hope and determination etched on her face. DuPont Manual was Louisville's premier academic institution, known for sending its graduates to the finest universities in the country. The school boasted state-of-the-art science laboratories, a magnificent library with leather-bound books, and teachers with degrees from Ivy League colleges. For any parent in Louisville, getting their child accepted to Manual was the golden ticket to a better future. But there was one problem. Cassius Clay was black, and this was 1953 in Kentucky. Before I continue, I need to ask you something. This channel only exists because of you. You're important to me, I know. That you value stories told with soul. If you feel something real just with this beginning, subscribe now. Seriously, it costs nothing for you, but means everything to me who creates each story with love. "I'm sorry, Mrs. Clay," said the stern-faced principal, Mr. Harrison, barely looking up from his paperwork. "Manual High School maintains certain standards. Your son would be much more suited to one of the colored schools. Central High School would be appropriate for someone of his background." Odessa Clay felt her heart break watching her bright, curious son's face fall. Cassius had been reading since age 4, had taught himself basic mathematics, and showed remarkable intelligence. But none of that mattered in the segregated South. "But sir," Odessa pleaded, "Cassius is a very smart boy. He dreams of being someone important someday. He wants to learn, to make something of himself." Mr. Harrison finally looked up, his cold eyes scanning the young boy who would one day become the most famous person on earth. "Mrs. Clay, people need to know their place in this world. Some doors are simply not meant to be opened by certain people. It's better to teach children realistic expectations." Young Cassius stood there, absorbing every word, feeling the sting of rejection burn into his memory. But even at 12 years old, there was something special about this boy, a fire in his eyes that couldn't be extinguished by hatred or prejudice. "Come on, baby," Odessa whispered to her son. "We're going somewhere they'll appreciate you." As they walked away from Manual High School, Cassius turned back one last time to look at the building that had rejected him. He made a silent promise to himself that day. Someday he would be so great, so important, that places like this would beg for his attention. Central High School was a different world entirely. Built specifically for African American students. During segregation, it lacked the fancy facilities of schools like Manual. The building was older, the books were hand-me-downs from white schools, and the laboratory equipment was outdated. But what Central High lacked in resources, it made up for in heart, soul, and teachers who believed in their students' potential. Principal Atwood Wilson was a man who saw greatness in every child who walked through his doors. When young Cassius arrived at Central High in 1956, Wilson immediately recognized something special about this energetic teenager who shadow-boxed in the hallways and talked about becoming heavyweight champion of the world. "That boy has fire," Wilson told his teachers. "I don't care if his grades aren't perfect. He's got something inside him that can't be taught." And Principal Wilson was right. While Cassius struggled with traditional academics, he was dyslexic and found reading and writing challenging. He was developing into something extraordinary outside the classroom. After his bicycle was stolen when he was 12, a police officer named Joe Martin had introduced him to boxing at the Columbia Gym. Now, at Central High, everyone could see that this teenager was destined for greatness. If this story has already made you feel something, however small it may be, Don't leave without giving back. Comment and subscribe now. Cassius would run alongside the school bus every morning, racing it to Central High. His classmates would cheer him on, and teachers would shake their heads in amazement at his incredible speed and stamina. He was already winning amateur boxing matches and had his sights set on the Olympics. But it was Principal Wilson who made the decision that would change everything. When Cassius was struggling academically in his senior year, his boxing training was taking up enormous amounts of time. A faction of teachers wanted to hold him back from graduation. Principal Wilson stood up at a staff meeting and made a proclamation that would become legendary. One day our greatest claim to fame is going to be that we knew Cassius Clay or taught him. Do you think I'm going to be the principal of a school that Cassius Clay didn't finish? If every teacher here fails him, he's not going to fail. Wilson was betting everything on a teenager that Manual High School and other elite institutions had written off. He saw potential where others saw problems, greatness where others saw disruption. Cassius graduated from Central High School in 1960, the same year he won Olympic gold in Rome. When he returned to Louisville as an Olympic champion, the celebration was held at Central High School, not at any of the prestigious white schools that had rejected him. By 1978, Cassius Clay had become Muhammad Ali, three-time heavyweight champion of the world, global icon, and the most recognizable face on earth. He had shaken up the world exactly as he had predicted. But he had never forgotten the lessons learned from rejection and the love received at Central High School. That year, something remarkable happened in Louisville. The city wanted to honor its most famous son, and the discussions reached the highest levels of government. Governor Julian Carroll declared 1978 the year of Ali and presented him with the Governor's Distinguished Service Award. But the most significant honor was yet to come. The Louisville Board of Aldermen voted 6-5 to rename Walnut Street, one of downtown Louisville's main thoroughfares, to Muhammad Ali Boulevard. This wasn't just any street. It was a major downtown artery that ran nearly 5 miles through the heart of the city. The decision was controversial. Within a week of the renaming, 12 of the 70 new street signs had been stolen. Many longtime residents complained about changing the name of a historic street, but Muhammad Ali had transcended sports and become a symbol of courage, conviction, and standing up for what's right. Around the same time, something even more significant was being discussed. The Jefferson County Public Schools Committee was considering renaming Ali's alma mater, Central High School, to Muhammad Ali High School. The proposal had initial support from prominent figures, including Jefferson County Judge Executive Mitch McConnell. The Jefferson County Fiscal Court voted affirmatively for the name change. It seemed like a done deal. The school that had believed in a struggling student when no one else would be forever linked to his legacy. But then, something unexpected happened. The school committee decided not to proceed with the renaming, citing long-time school tradition and alumni disagreement. They said they wanted to find other ways to honor Ali in the community. Many people saw this as another rejection, another institution that wasn't ready to fully embrace the young man they had once turned away. But Muhammad Ali had learned something. Over the years, real change doesn't come from having your name on a building. It comes from opening doors for others that were once closed to you. What Muhammad Ali did next wasn't just headline news. It was revolutionary. Instead of being bitter about the school naming situation, he decided to create something far more powerful than any building could ever be. In 2004, working with the University of Louisville, Ali established the Muhammad Ali Scholars Program through the Muhammad Ali Institute for Peace and Justice. But this wasn't just any scholarship program. It was designed specifically for students who had been overlooked, underestimated, or rejected by traditional educational institutions. The program focused on young people who showed promise but came from disadvantaged backgrounds, students who faced the same kinds of barriers that Ali had faced as a young man. These scholars were chosen not just for their academic achievements, but for their potential to create positive change in the world. The Muhammad Ali Scholars Program provided full university scholarships, mentorship, and unique domestic and international learning experiences. Students traveled to countries around the world, studying social justice, conflict resolution, and peace building. They visited places like Ghana, Rwanda, Mexico, and England, learning about different approaches to creating positive change. But the real magic happened when these scholars returned to their communities. They became leaders, activists, teachers, and change makers. They opened doors for others, just as Ali had done throughout his life. In 2005, Ali took things even further. He and his wife Lonnie opened the $54 million Muhammad Ali Center in downtown Louisville. This wasn't just a museum about boxing, it was a multicultural center focused on peace, social responsibility, respect, and personal growth. The center became a beacon for young people from all backgrounds, offering education programs that taught Ali's 6 core principles: confidence, conviction, dedication, giving, respect, and spirituality. Students who had been written off by traditional educational systems found hope and purpose within these walls. But perhaps the most powerful moment came in 2019, when Louisville Regional Airport Authority voted unanimously to rename the city's main airport Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. This meant that every person flying into Louisville, from presidents to ordinary travelers, would see Ali's name and legacy. The same city that had once relegated him to segregated schools now welcomed the world in his name. The headlines weren't just local, they were international. Muhammad Ali's legacy transforms education, read the New York Times. From rejection to revolution, how Ali changed everything, proclaimed the Washington Post. The champion who built champions, declared Sports Illustrated. What made this story so powerful wasn't just Ali's success. It was how he used that success to tear down the very barriers that had once excluded him. He didn't seek revenge against the institutions that had rejected him. Instead, he built new pathways for others to follow. Today, thousands of young people have benefited from programs inspired by Muhammad Ali's vision. Students who might have been turned away from elite institutions have gone on to become doctors, teachers, lawyers, and leaders. They carry with them not just knowledge, but Ali's example of turning rejection into fuel for greatness. The boy who was told he wasn't good enough for Manual High School had created an educational legacy that would outlast any building, any trophy, any championship belt. He had proven that true greatness isn't measured by the doors that open for you, but by how many doors you open for others. Muhammad Ali taught the world that when someone tries to tell you that you don't belong, you don't fight to fit into their narrow vision. You expand the vision, you change the game. You become so undeniably great that you force the world to make room for not just you, but for everyone who comes after you. The headline said it all. Muhammad Ali, the champion who made champions of us all. If you made it this far and felt every word, won't you leave without subscribing? I tell these stories with my heart in my hands to reach people like you, who feel, who get emotional, who live. If this truly touched you, give back, comment, subscribe. Come be part of this family with me until the next video.